Okay, in this tutorial we're going to look at how to start to copy geometry within Spoke Creator. For this example I've just gone with the trusty polybox again, and what we're going to do is, you might find that you want to actually start to create multiple items of the same thing within Spoke Creator. So what we can do is, instead of going through and creating 50 of these polyboxes, we can just use one atom which is going to copy that 50 times. So I'm going to go into atom here, into geometry, and there's a copy option here, and today we're just going to look at copy, not with copy with vectors. Alright, so you can see that again it's just kind of automatically connected, and once it's been connected nothing's really happened within the 3D view. Don't worry, you haven't broken it, it's just we haven't actually gone and told it to do anything. The first thing to notice in the perimeter view here is the number of copies. At the moment we're only copying this once, so actually it hasn't done anything. If we can start to crank that up, you can see that the box is actually starting to get brighter, and that's just because we have now got 6 copies in the same place. So essentially it's just showing us that we need to actually tell it to do more with it. So we'll just move that down to, let's say, 3 for now. Now you have 3 different options, or 4 if you want to include scale twice, but you have the first one here is translate, and pretty much what that's going to do is just going to translate it by a certain amount each time. So we've got it now set at it's going to translate 2 units along the x-axis, and then so you've got 2 here and then 2 again. If we start to crank up the numbers, you can see it's just going to redo it over and over again as many times as we want. The really interesting ones now is that we can actually start to rotate along a certain axis however many times we want as well. So we can start to crank this up, and you can see that it's starting to actually rotate the geometry. What's really interesting about this is it hasn't just, we've got it set at 15 at the moment, it hasn't just rotated at 15 degrees and then just left it like that. It's rotating at 15 degrees every single time it's translated. So this one's at 15, that one's at 30 degrees from the original, that one's at 45. So it's just going and multiplying it each time by the amount of copies that we have. Another really good example of showing that is the scale. We can actually scale it along a certain axis if that's what we require, but we're going to look at uniform scale. So we can actually go and say, okay, every time this thing copies, I want to copy it and make it 0.2 times larger. So we're going to have 1.2, and you can see that every time it's been copied now, it's getting 1.2 times larger than the previous one. So that's a really interesting way of using copy. I mean, you probably wouldn't be using all these values at one time, but all the options are there to change and copy the geometry however you will need it.